Washington State's Public Records Act became law through legislative action because the people, not the government, should be in control of public information that affects them. The Washington Coalition for Open Government has created this series of information programs to detail what the public records laws are intended to do, what they actually do, and how both affect your life. This segment deals with your requesting public records. All state agencies and most local government agencies have a designated public records officer. If you know the specific record or records you want, your first action is to ask. If not the PRO, then any agency officer dealing with the records you seek should respond. Many government agencies, again both state and local, make available a records request form. This makes it easy for you and the agency to track your request, and by itself becomes a record of that request. Writing a letter detailing your request and posting it by postal service is another means to formalize your request, and it too becomes a record of your request. Agencies also must respond to phone requests and simple emailed requests. However, both of these forms leave an uncertain tracking footprint, though they both become public records by themselves. So make clear the record or records you're requesting. You don't need to explain why you want the records, and you're not limited to the numbers of records you're requesting. Understand that an agency must respond to your request within 5 working days of its receipt. That doesn't mean they must provide the records in that time frame, though many do if the request is specific to one or a few records. But it does mean they must tell you when the records will be available. And agencies have timelines they must adhere to in fulfilling your request beyond those first 5 days, though those may be self-adjusted by agencies in 30-day increments. The agency must substantiate its reason for denying your request, specifically citing a statute that supports that denial. And an agency cannot deny you a record if only a part of it contains information that is exempt. The agency may black out the exempt information or delete it from a digital record. Regardless, the agency must cite the specific reason for redacting portions of records. Records are filed in paper form, especially older records, but most are now digitally available, making access quicker and easier. It's easier for the agency, being less time-consuming for staff, and it provides you what you want and need more quickly. That doesn't mean all digital records are quickly available. An agency must examine the records you request for any disclosure exemptions. 20 years ago, that was a relatively easy process, since there were fewer than 100 exemptions to the state's Public Disclosure Act. In 2006, the state legislature removed records from the PDA and captured them in the new Public Records Act. More than 100 exemptions are defined by that act, but more than 400 other exemptions are spread throughout scores of state laws not directly connected to the Public Records Act. So an agency has the task to examine records you request against all those other exemptions. Fortunately, most records you would want have no exemptions attached. Just be prepared for an agency response noting they must review the records before releasing them to you. Now, what record or records do you want? A birth certificate? Contact the State Department of Health. It may cost you search time and a certified copy fee, but it's relatively easy and quick. Want to view your town's budget? These are usually posted on the town website, but asking the town clerk for it is a quick alternative. If you want a copy, there's probably no charge to get it digitally. Hard copies could cost 15 cents a page. That's the limit imposed by the Public Records Act. Asking to look at a record kept by a public agency should have no costs attached, either for a hard copy or a digital copy. This summary is intended to ease your concerns about requesting public records. Below is a sample letter you may use in making a records request. Just remember, public records are your records, not an agency's and not the government's. A longer, more detailed narrative on this segment is offered below. Additional links to public records-related information are also included. View and read the complete summary of the Public Records Act with links to the Act through the index at left. Also, below is a box you may use to ask us a question and get help dealing with an agency. The Coalition staff is prepared to assist you in getting answers or a referral to a human resource who specializes in areas of your concern. We welcome such inquiries, and we have provided the means to post comments related to each segment. A simple registration process is all that's needed to join the conversation.